Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are taking a massive leap. We're going to transform those random, kind of hit-or-miss saving habits into a mathematically optimal system, completely designed to get you to a six-figure net worth. Because look, reaching your first $100,000, it's not just some fantasy reserved for trust fund babies or lottery winners. It is an entirely achievable milestone for you, once you stop guessing and start applying the right systems. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that.
Here is the blueprint we're covering today to get you from an unsexy financial foundation all the way up to the skyscraper of compound interest. We'll hit the leaking financial bucket, the optimal investing order, the tax optimization zone, accelerating your savings rate, and then wrap up with the magic of the first 100K snowball.
All right, part one, the leaking financial bucket. Time to plug those holes.
You know, most folks approach wealth building like they're fighting this steep uphill battle with a leaky bucket. I mean, you can pour water in all day long from your paycheck, but if you don't plug the holes at the bottom, you end up with absolutely nothing. Do you ever look at your bank account and feel like you accidentally signed up for a subscription service called Broke Life Premium? You're working hard, you earn a decent income, yet somehow a $100,000 net worth feels like total science fiction. Well, the problem isn't your willpower, it's your strategy.
To really put this into perspective, the median American has a shocking $500 saved for emergencies. Just $500. That is literally less than a standard monthly car payment these days. And while people are sitting around with $500 asking if they should, day trade crypto or buy individual tech stocks, they're completely missing the foundation. It's like begging to buy a Ferrari when you literally can't afford to fix the transmission in your current Honda.
And this is exactly where conventional financial advice just totally misses the mark. The average person thinks building wealth is all about cutting out their daily coffee or spending hours clipping coupons. Honestly, that's like trying to solve advanced calculus with a box of crayons. The wealthy don't do that. They use a financial calculator. They focus on the big-ticket items and set up automated systems that free up thousands of dollars every month, all without feeling like they live in some sort of financial prison.
Moving on to part two, the optimal investing order. Let's lay that foundation.
Before you even think about picking investments, there is a very strict order of operations you absolutely must follow. First, you need an emergency fund. You want to build toward a 1 to 3 month safety net so a random broken down car doesn't completely derail your life. Second, grab your employer match. And third, aggressively avalanche your high interest debt. This means you attack the balances with the highest interest rates first. Carrying a 22% credit card balance while trying to invest in the stock market is literally like trying to run a marathon with a backpack full of rocks.
There's actually some really fascinating psychology behind that first step, by the way. Vanguard research shows that having just $2,000 in emergency savings gives you a massive 21% boost to your financial well-being score. It creates this vital psychological safety net that stops you from making terrible panic-driven financial decisions when life inevitably throws you a curveball.
Okay, so why does step 2, the employer match, come before finishing off that high-interest debt? Well, because capturing an employer match provides an immediate, 100% guaranteed return on your money. Sometimes it's 50%, sometimes it's 100%. If your boss matches 50 cents on the dollar, you just made 50% on day one. It is essentially free cash. Refusing to take it is quite literally like refusing a winning lottery ticket.
All right, part 3, the tax optimization zone. Let's keep more of what's yours.
So once your foundation is rock solid, we plug the remaining leaks using government-approved strategies that, honestly, most people completely ignore. Take the classic dilemma: pay taxes now with a Roth or pay taxes later with a traditional account. Let's say you're in the 22% tax bracket. Contributing $1,000 to a traditional 401k literally saves you $220 in taxes today. That means that $1,000 investment, it only costs you $780 out of your actual take-home pay. The government is essentially subsidizing your wealth building.
And if you have access to it, a health savings account, or HSA, is the absolute ultimate secret weapon. Think of it like the Swiss Army knife of investing. You get a tax deduction putting the money in, the money grows totally tax-free, and you can pull it out tax-free for medical expenses. If you max this out and invest it at just a 7% average return, over 30 years, you could potentially shield over $400,000 from taxes. That can single-handedly wipe out your healthcare costs in retirement.
And look, this right here is exactly why skipping straight to a standard, taxable brokerage account is so incredibly dangerous. Let's say you invest $10,000 a year over 30 years. In a tax-advantaged account, you net about $944,000. But in a taxable account, where you're bleeding out taxes on dividends and gains every year, you only hit $700,000. That invisible tax drag just cost you nearly $250,000.
Seriously, do the boring, tax-advantaged stuff first.
Part 4. Accelerating your savings rate. Time to hit the gas pedal.
If you want to hit 100K at lightning speed, you need to make some big mindset shifts. For most folks, housing is the absolute elephant in the room. It just devours 40% to 60% of their income. But if you creatively cut a $2,000 housing bill down to, say, $1,200, maybe by getting roommates, moving a bit further out, or house hacking, you instantly free up $800 a month. If you invest that over 20 years at a 10% return, that single lifestyle choice adds over $500,000 to your net worth.
Let's do a rapid-fire rundown of how to flip conventional wisdom on its head. First, don't live in deprivation. Instead, expand your means by creating extra income streams specifically meant for investing. Second, avoid the lifestyle inflation trap. When you get a raise, automate 50% of it directly into your investments before you even have a chance to spend it. And finally, please stop trying to time the market. It's like trying to guess which elevator is going to arrive first in a crowded lobby. Research shows if you miss just the 10 best days in the market over 30 years, your returns get slashed almost in half. Just buy broad index funds like the S&P 500 and let capitalism do the heavy lifting for you.
Now I know it is super tempting to take your dividend payouts and spend them on something fun, but the historical data tells a totally different story. The S&P 500 averages about a 10.7% return when you reinvest every single dividend to buy more shares. But if you take it as cash, that return plummets to just 6.6%. Reinvesting creates this massive snowball effect that literally bridges the gap between struggling in retirement and achieving true financial freedom.
And finally, Part 5, the first 100K snowball, where momentum takes over.
We have reached the climax of the explainer. All these systems we just talked about, they lead up to the absolute magic of hitting that six-figure milestone. Because when you start from zero, you're doing all the heavy lifting, brick by heavy brick. Every single dollar comes straight from your own sweat. But once you pass $100,000, the math fundamentally shifts. A 10% annual return suddenly adds $10,000 to your net worth, automatically. Your investments are finally earning real, tangible money. It stops feeling like you're endlessly pushing a boulder up a steep hill, and starts feeling like you're catching a massive wave. The legendary investor Charlie Munger famously said the first $100,000 is the hardest. And he's right. The beginning is an absolute grind that requires some incredibly unsexy discipline. But once you implement this optimal order of operations, dodge those massive tax traps, and let that snowball get just big enough, momentum simply takes over. I promise you, the next 100,000 comes so much faster.
So, I want to leave you with this one final provocative thought to chew on. Your future self is entirely dependent on the systems you set up right now, today. Every single dollar you save using this mathematically optimal sequence, it isn't a sacrifice, it is a massive, life-changing gift to the person you are going to become in 10, 20, or 30 years. So, what kind of gift are you going to give them? Let's start building that foundation today.